Hello guys, welcome back to Comic Book Cafe, and today we're reviewing Green Lantern Volume 5, Issue 43. Now, what happened last issue in Issue 42 was Hal Jordan obviously is no more part of the Green Lanterns. He's now wanted by good and bad people alike. Everybody wants him for various different reasons. Anyway, so investigate what's going on with a person called Virgo's race. The race has basically been turned to stone. The whole planet's been turned to stone. And they're all dead. And their stone they're turned into, as you find out in issue 43, is the source stone wall. That's what the world was turned into. And at the end of last issue, they run into Relic. So we start off this issue once again with Hal Jordan and Darlene, the spaceship he's using, with an attitude, having a little bit of banter, and he's figuring out what to do. And he's sitting there looking out the stars of Virgo, and he says, all the years I've been, worried about for other people, I never took time to marvel at how great, this is. And he's looking at a place where the stars are born. And then he put the suit on, saying, and going to go out there to investigate what's going on with Relic and everything. And, Virgo asks, why don't you take the gauntlet? And he's like, no, if I take the gauntlet, we're all dead. So he goes out there. And Relic thinks they're just explorers like him. They're just scientists or what. They're just people trying to look for knowledge because there's no weapons on the ship when he scanned it when they first saw them. And so through Relic, we get to learn a lot of different things about what's going on. Of course, we get to learn that he now likes the name Relic. That people he calls lesser minds call him that because they think it is a bad thing, but he actually is used to the word Relic. And you find out that he was stuck in part of the source wall. That things could start the source wall was supposed to stay there, but somehow he got free. And that the source wall has a crack in it, and that it seems to be growing, and that Relic's universe died because it ran out of the emotional well. Kind of drew dry, and the wall disappears. When the wall goes away, the universe is gone. And Relic doesn't understand. It explains why he doesn't understand why this is going on, because the emotional well has been refilled in this universe, and there's no reason for this to be happening. But if it goes away, the universe will be gone, except for the Green Lanterns disappearing, and all he knows is that they've disappeared. He doesn't know why, and he thinks it's a good thing that they're gone, because he doesn't like the Green Lanterns. He makes that well known. But he also shows Hal something you saw earlier in this book. Earlier in this book, you saw a guy with a dark robe on, there's a guy who died on this planet. They're doing a ritual for him, and he walks up and tries to turn back to life, but he can't, or they're dead alive, and he can't like he did from his home planet. And this is significant because when Relic's talking to Hal Jordan, he tells him, yeah, a guy looking about your build with all black also came out of the source wall, and he shows him a picture of him, and Hal's like, no, not him. Kind of thing. And that's where I leave it at with him. But Virgo trying to help, Hal's going out there unarmed with this guy, puts on the gauntlet. And when it puts it on, it causes an energy spike, which Relic immediately sees that it's, the Green Lantern light. And he's like, what's going on? That's from your ship. And he's like, you don't know what you're doing. He goes, no, that person doesn't know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing. And so he goes back to the ship. And Relic thinks they're there to destroy him, and so he sends his drones after him. And the ship gets knocked out and has to reboot, and they can't outrun it. So Hal puts the gauntlet on, tries to buy him time, until finally the computer can reboot, and then they take off. And at the very end, you see Relic say, "I'll see you again, little light person," just because he considers him insignificant because he's so big and powerful. And so that all is wrapped up. Again, it pushes the story on very nicely through Relic himself. Not like a fact that Relic's, you didn't see Relic be a big fight. It was the fact that Relic gave you all the details of what he knows and knows what's going on. So the source wall's involved. There's a crack or a fuselage in the wall that's getting bigger. But yet the emotional well is refilled, and there's no reason this should be happening. And that he got out of it, and that this dark guy got out of it, bad guy got out of it, and that's all they know. And that he's not concerned about the prime planet Virgo being turned into source wall. source wall stone. The only thing Relic did to push on, saying, no, the wall doesn't do that. The wall draws everything back. He's like, all my equipment where I took part of the wall was drawn into the wall and stuck there. So someone else had to put it there and make that happen. And then at the very end of the book, we see Space Sector 3087 and the gambling den of Yagal, and we see, Chancellor, and you see her on the ground, and some mysterious people talking to her, and she's like, I told you anything about Hal Jordan, Hal Jordan rescued, the monarch and fled. And she's like, if you find him, gut him, he was bad for business. And then at the very end, she's like, the guy's like throw down to her or something. She's like, you can't do that. And he's like, who will stop me? The law? He goes, the gray agents will be the new law, and that's how it ends. You don't know who they are. So, we got a couple different levels on this book, obviously. Who are the gray agents? They want to be the new law. Hal Jordan trying to find out what happened. The Virgo's planet. Now, the Relic wants to find out, but Relic's, obviously wants to get Hal Jordan, what's happened to the Green Lanterns, all that kind of stuff going on at one time. Anyway, a real enjoyable book. You really need to read at least the last issue to know what's going on in this book, because there's so many things going on. And of course, The Lost Army would help you fill in some of this too, because that series fills in what happened to the Green Lantern, and they have little details about what happened is going on also. But overall, enjoyable book. Absolutely love the art of this book. I love the story of it so far. I love it anytime you can have a big character in the universe like Relic, not always have to fight. Like, most of the book he didn't fight. The very end, obviously, Sinus Jones, because he feels like he doesn't, they had the Green Lantern light, very powerful thing, and he's like, well, you have that, you're clearly here to destroy me, kind of thing. But overall, very enjoyable book. So what do you guys think of Green Lantern Volume 5, Issue 43? If you liked how they pushed the story around, evolve the story further, keep moving the story further along with little details each time. Not like giving you massive details, but just enough to keep you, that's interesting. But yet I still have this, and this question. Anyway, love to hear your guys' opinions on the book like always, and I will make another comic book review soon. Later, guys.